Welcome back to the artist always known as Alejandro. Yes, we're seeing the Grinch here, my version. I did make a short video of my little phases of this guy. How I drew him, made him into what he was. But now I'm going to peel back those layers and actually show you how I got here. Because this magic just doesn't happen this fast, right, Grinch? The Grinch? So, I mean, it is that time of year. Going to see a lot of Grinch on TV. There's several versions of the man. Obviously, he started off as a Dr. Seuss book, became an animated special, voiced by the one and only Boris Karloff. Then, of course, Jim Carrey put on the green costume and makeup and became a live-action Grinch in the Ron Howard film. Dare I say, 25 years ago? Yes, back in 2000. Holy moly. And there was even more recent one from Illumination, an animated one just called The Grinch. Benedict Cumberbatch voicing The Grinch. I used a lot of them for inspiration to come up with this drawing. So let's peel back the layers. We're going to get rid of all of this stuff here. Yeah. So I think I initially, let me show you what happened first. Now I wasn't probably doing what I should be, but initially this is what I came up with. Very different from this. I was just fooling around, our pencil phase can be a little bit of a experimental phase, trying to figure out the little nuances of the character, where the eye should be, what's the most striking features that we remember, especially with someone as iconic as the Grinch. So, looking at reference material from those movies, this is what I initially came up with. As you can see, maybe we should zoom in on this guy and zoom in on this guy. Let's see these guys. As you can see, come on, Mr. Grinch, come a little closer down here. What strikes you first here? Well, this Grinch's face is really wide. And, that could be something, but it wasn't working for me. You could make his face wide, but it just wasn't jiving with, I think, the overall shape and aesthetic. And his head was a little too wide. His little mohawk should be big. It seemed a little too small for his proportions. It should be a little more full. As you can see here, it's got height. It's a little larger, which is what you want in drawing your Grinch. The eyes were kind of a little wider, but here I put them into a little sneer. See? Got the nose pretty much the same. The mouth is moved around a little bit. Added those furry, hairy eyebrows he's got, those dark ones. And rounded the face a little bit more. But the body is about the same. Yeah. Might add a little more shoulder. Give him a little more contour. He's got that big belly. And those iconic pointy fingers. So I initially drew this here. I didn't do pencil. I wanted to do it straight onto this. And then it eventually became this. But let's play around. I will do what I normally do. I'll make him a little lighter. Ooh, let's not completely disappear there, Mr. Grinch. But just for our fun purposes here, how would you draw this iconic character? Now I'm going to go the opposite of his green color and the other Christmas color, red. I'm going to hit the pencil. And actually, funny enough, the Grinch is drawn in pencil. I figured that pencil would be a great texture for his fur. But if we're breaking this down into shapes, let's start with his face. I'm going to zoom in. And so, what should I do first? If I'm drawing a face, we're going to do our circle. Sloppy circle, of course, but let's just kind of... It would be a circle here. And then I guess ideally I would have a circle here if I knew I wanted to do this kind of face. Come on, puppy. Maybe a little wide, but we get the idea. Would I do the rest of his body? I could. You know, if we wanted to do our usual, it still applies, our nose line, and there's our eye line. We could draw the eyes here somewhere. And then you would have a straight line going down the center of his body, which has a very funny body. If you wanted to break this down into little shapes here, we could do it this way. Do you want to be geometrical? Well, he's not really. You could. If you wanted to break it down into shoulders, you could break it down into those parts. If you wanted to do a stick figure thing, yes, you could do that too. Look at that. Do the lines connecting to your elbow joints. And then you could fill it in like I do. Have it separating the upper arm from the lower forearm. You can make it cylindrical if you want. If you wanted to be, see, he's got just a little bit of a chest. You can make a separate here, and then that big belly. If you wanted to round it out like a complete circle, you can, but not necessary. And then you could draw maybe ankle joints here. I know some artists will draw where their knees want to be. Now for this kind of drawing, if you want. Me, it's not really necessary. But you can break it up. There is a little space between his legs there. I may have resized him, and of course he's got these pointy feet. Even then, you can do it into geometric shapes if you so desire. I know I've been kind of on that kick. If you want to make the hands one, and of course, this thing. Let's get rid of that. So this is kind of a shape. Gives you an idea. Let's see. I do have this as a Grinch sketch dupe. I'm not harming my original sketch. So you can always make a duplicate if you want to practice around and do stuff like that. And there's your basic shapes of your Grinch. Bring them in there and voila, you got that going on. So there's his basic shape. Actually, bring it down a little bit. I'm going to use it as reference, but I'm also going to make this layer a little lighter as well, so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Again, I think I used a really dark green, and I used that as the color of the pencil to come up with this shape. I was looking at multiple images and then just did my version of the Grinch. I just wanted to get him pre-ending of the movie where he's his usual grouchy self. Blast this Christmas music. It's joyful and triumphant. As Jim Carrey said in his movie. Let's make this a little lighter. So what I was doing, I don't know what the thickness was, but you know, I kind of just did this thing with the Grinch. you can see, you could just play around. This is the fun part. You know, that iconic little mohawk or whatever that wisp is on the top of his head has that. If you want to break it down into your little pieces, you can. Start with the shape, and he has this whiskery thing going on here. His fur. His head's a little wider, right? They have him a little differently in this new commercial. Have you seen this? Where they're taking the Who song and who are you? Who, and yeah, they're doing the Grinch. But he has a more of a part in the middle in this big wig over there. He's missing his trademark mohawk. Well, I think I made these black, right? But then he has that nose. That little Whoville nose. And just follow along. Of course, he has this big furry mane. And I just kind of went back and forth this way. You don't really have to be neat. Remember, he's the Grinch. He's like the Oscar the Grouch of Whoville. Like way up in the mountains. And yeah, you can keep the pencil. If you're doing this by hand, try a colored pencil. It's going to be fun to just draw him with that green there. I'm just kind of feeling my way around here. I wanted to have him like in this pouting position, like, what are you looking at? Ugh. Or it's like maybe, ugh, these people are celebrating Christmas again. Well, I'm going to put an end to that. Like, this is when he's reached his limit, right? The Grinch. Exactly. And I just did his claws. We won't spend a lot of time. I mean, you see the final drawing. But it is good to draw the layers of fur here. It's almost like a green buff. A Furby. A big cotton ball. I wouldn't touch him with a 39.5-foot pole. Yeah, I figured this was... I liked him being in this stance. It says everything about him. When you think about it, in a way, he's like a modern-day Scrooge. He's all bah humbuggy. But he's not wealthy, like Scrooge. He doesn't see spirits. But he does meet Cindy Lou Who. And of course, what gets him? Well, should I tell you the ending? Does anybody not know the Grinch story? I don't want to spoil it. Obviously, he turns good. I think I went black for his eyes. Look at that. Yeah. I don't know if I did the eyebrows in pencil. I might have just done them normally. I have more of a scowl than I did before, huh? I think I kept that green, but you get the idea. So get rid of that. And you're left with that. Like he's staring down at Whoville. And so this is what I came up with my drawing. Let's see if we zoom in here. There's all those details. Oh, what is this? Why is there a line there? Oh, I might have been drawing on this layer. We need to get rid of that. Oh boy. Didn't realize I was drawing over that. Oh no. Hold on. I know how to get rid of it. Nope. There we go. Bye-bye. Alright, now it's the essence. So yeah, I did draw this over those. And then with the Grinch, can't just leave him like this. With my drawing, I decided to color him. I broke him down into 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Now he's a lot to cover, but let's see. With layer 1, oh, look at that. So I colored him in green. I was trying to mimic the green, you know, that iconic green color. It's kind of a bright, but not too bright green. As you can see, I did that. Filled in this layer here and just did that and one of his legs. As you know, it's always good to have legs on separate layers if you can do it. So then the next layer was his body here, his other leg, and his eyes. Okay. Then I assume his arm is going to be the next one. And the yellow in his eyes. Well, what's the third layer? His nose and the inside of his right hand. Okay. So there you have it. And some detail and some fuzzies. I think the fuzzies I did use pencil. It was fun drawing them. Now, you know me, I have to add layers of shading. So, of course, the first layer of shading will have that. Ah, yes, I used the airbrush. I think I used maybe the running spray. Yeah, look at that. Because he's dirty. He lives in filth. Gotta get that to add a little depth and shading, and it was fun. That leg, too. Of course, I guess that means the rest of the body will be the same. Remember, it's the clip to layer below. So when you're coloring, you'll put a raster layer, not a vector layer, a raster layer above your primary color layer. And then this lovely symbol clips to the layer below. You know you've got it when you got this. And then you could shade and it won't go off your character. So might as well fill in the rest. There we go. Now, I just didn't want to have him standing in space. As you saw, I had some kind of snowy background. So we'll go to this. What do we have here? Ah, he's standing on dirt. It's underneath him. This might have been the same spray paint from the airbrush. So I have that as a layer directly below the Grinch. Now the clip to the layer above, what do I do? Add shadow, of course, a little shadow. We just can't have that. So there's a, what's next? Oh, look at that. You see it? Little snowflakes. Which were actually, I'm pretty sure they were the droplet airbrush tool. But these look like snowflakes. You know, get them the right size, it does look like it's snowing. But what is my layer above it? Oh, even more shading. So yes, maybe it looks like some crappy snow. Could be snow, dirt is melting, you know. And then there's another layer below it. What do we got? Oh, the next layer. Oh, what did I do here? Probably use the airbrush. And just wanted to create some cloudy, overcast look. It does look like that, right? You know, he lives on top of a mountain. And it makes the snowflakes pop a little more. You can see them more. What's the final layer? Well, that's it. Is that really it? I thought I had more. Yeah. Oh, okay, so I see what I did. See, the clouds were there, and then I didn't have that, but this added, I added these first, and then I added that underneath to kind of fill it in. See? Kind of blah, but then you add that, and then one more layer just sets the mood. A gloomy, overcast day, just like the Grinch's mood. Well, there you have it. That was him in his whole Grinchy self. There he is. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. One of my favorite lines from the Jim Carrey one is when he does the crash test and then the airbag pops out delay. It says, airbag's a bit too slow. But that's what these tests are for. Jim did a great job, and everybody who's had their hand in playing the Grinch has crafted such a fun version of this iconic character that lets you know that even the most grouchy and cold-hearted can get into the Christmas spirit. A good reminder of that, right? So, hey, if you ever catch the Grinch in any form, reading it in the book or seeing one of those televised specials or movies, check it out. And of course, put this video on repeat so you can draw your own Grinch. Well, thanks for tuning in today, Alex. Always known as Alejandro. Stay Grinchy. Like and subscribe. Don't be a Grinch to me. I much appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video there. Until then, keep creating.